That's not Detox. How is this a Dr. Dre album and it's not Detox? Where's Detox? What happened to Detox? Oh my god, I'm having a panic attack. What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. And what I have for you boys and girls today is my review for Dr. Dre's new album, Compton. Yeah, I really did just say that. This is Dr. Dre's new album, and it's not called Detox. In his own words, this album is inspired by the Straight Outta Compton movie, and it's also supposed to be his grand finale. So it's nice to finally be done talking about Detox, and now we can talk about Compton. Now the whole album starts off with an intro where Compton itself is discussed, but the first actual track we get is called Talk About It. And I thought this was a really weird song to kick the album off because it has a basic trap feel to it. And it actually kind of made me panic a little bit, but you don't have to panic because everything is uphill from here. This one features King Mez and Justice, aka Justin Morrill, who was apparently Dre's newest protege. And in Dre's verse, he spits about how he has checks from Eminem's music that he hasn't even opened up yet, and about how he's had money before the internet and before Beats Electronics. But my favorite part of Dre's verse is when he says that he was selling instrumentals off of a beeper. Because that just goes to show you how long Dre has been putting in work and how far he's come. And some of you young'uns out there probably don't even know what a beeper is, or at least how a beeper works. And I just want to throw in right quick, in case you weren't aware, Dr. Dre does make use of ghostwriters, and this isn't news. But I haven't seen the full writing credits for this, so I'm not sure who was writing each one of his verses. But I'm sure it'll come out soon if it's not floating around out there already. Up next is the song Genocide, and this is one of my favorite tracks on the album because of the bassy, grimy-ass production. I was listening to this in my car today and just banging my neck. We get some reggae vocals from Candace Pillay on this one, and as for Dre, I hardly recognized him in his verse because of how different he sounded, but it did sound dope, and once again, I'll be interested to see who wrote this one for him. But naturally, with Kendrick Lamar on here, he absolutely kills it by spitting some rapid-fire flows, mixing in some nice harmonies, and using some cool vocal backups on his verse as well. Kendrick Lamar is featured on the song Deep Water too, which has DJ Dahi listed as one of the co-producers, and you can definitely hear his style and sound all over this one. But if you're looking for some of that classic Dre sound, I thought All in a Day's Work and the piano on Dark Side Gone were really reminiscent of Dre's work from the early 2000s / mid 2000s. And then on the song Animals, which is co-produced by DJ Premier, we get a nice 90s sort of vibe and some bars all about how the media and police sometimes view and treat black people as animals. And this track features Anderson .Paak. Now, just like Dre's Chronic 2001, this album is chock-loaded with features, additional vocals, bridges, etc. And there's a lot of people on here who aren't overly familiar, like King Mez, Justice, and Anderson .Paak for just a couple of examples. But we do get some familiar faces on here as well. Game absolutely snaps on the song Just Another Day, and Ice Cube takes a break from being typecast as an angry black man in movies to show that he can still spit some gangsta shit on the song Issues. But that one was actually one of my least favorite tracks on here because I wasn't feeling the production very much. I found it to be a little bit stale. We also get a verse from Exhibit that I thought was just alright, but overall it was just nice to hear from him because I can't even remember the last time I heard him on a song. The production on this one bounces around quite a bit, but I really like the bells on the first part of the song because they reminded me of one of my favorite Dr. Dre tracks of all time. I'm talking about Explosive. You know those little bells I'm talking about. Loose Cannons also features West Coast veteran Cold 187, and he murked his verse, and I was just surprised to hear him on here because the last I heard of him, he was working with Psychopathic Records and putting music out with ICP, so it was interesting to see him here. And I also gotta add that the skit on the end of this song is fucking bonkers, and it might remind you of some Slim Shady shit. And on the topic of Slim Shady, Eminem is featured on the song Medicine Man. And even though I tend to give Eminem a very hard time, he absolutely snapped on this damn verse. And it helps that the beat is fire too, because we all know Eminem has a tendency to rap on some bullshit production. So hopefully next time he decides to put out a song or a new album, he gets some more shit like this and works more with Dr. Dre. Which is why I actually liked Relapse, just to throw that out there. I thought the Dr. Dre production was some of the best that Eminem ever got on. Even though he was spitting some of that bullshit accent, weird shit. But I digress. Back to Medicine Man with Eminem. In his verse, Eminem raps about coming up in the rap game with Dre and how people gave him a hard time because of his race. And he also compares himself to Tiger Woods, who just like him, stepped into a field where everybody else doing it looked really different. Because there weren't really a lot of black golfers out there before Tiger Woods. If there were any, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I didn't watch a lot of golf. To me, I thought this was one of the best Eminem verses that I've ever heard, period. And definitely one of the best verses he spit in the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years. And this is an example of why I get annoyed with Eminem these days. Why can't he snap like this all the damn time instead of putting out, you know what? I'm just not going to start an Eminem rant here. Let's just keep it going. Now, Aftermath artist John Connor is featured on this album as well, and you can hear him spitting on the songs One Shot, One Kill, and For the Love of Money. For the Love of Money is a slight nod to Eazy-E and Bone Thugs' song by the same name, and it has a really smooth and bassy sound to it that you can ride out to late at night. And as for One Shot, One Kill, I thought John Connor delivered a great amount of bars like he always does, but I was surprised by Snoop Dogg on this song, man, because he was sounding hungry. We usually hear Snoop rhyming smooth and laid back, but on this one, he was much more aggressive, and he just sounded refreshed. I'm telling you, Dr. Dre knows how to get the best out of everybody. Overall, One Shot, One Kill is a very hard track, but there are also some softer jams on here as well. It's All On Me has some great vocals from BJ the Chicago Kid, and on this one, Dr. Dre raps about some of his experiences from the past, like his relationship with Eazy-E, when he met Snoop Dogg and Suge Knight, and just growing up in Compton. So I thought this was a very cool, introspective track. And on the outro track, Talking to My Diary, he gives us some more history there as well. Now the song Satisfaction has a little bit of a softer vibe to it as well, at least in comparison to some of the harder tracks, but it's more so on some funky, neck-snapping type of shit. And as far as the content goes, Snoop, King Mez, and Dre are spitting about those fake MCs out there, who are the definition of satisfaction. Marsha Ambrosius comes through with some really nice vocals on this song, and we gotta give her some props because she laced a lot of these tracks and really helped tie it all together. So shout out to Marsha Ambrosius for your contributions. Like she'll ever see this, but whatever. She did a good job. And actually, I'm just really happy to say that this was a good job overall, because this album is damn good. Now don't get me wrong, I knew it would be good, but I was also expecting to be a little bit disappointed just because of all the hype, the expectations, and the wait that we had for a new Dr. Dre album. I wasn't disappointed at all though, and it kind of seems like Dre used a similar formula to what he did on Chronic 2001 here, by just mixing in a lot of different people. He had big names, lesser known features, lots of bridges, people coming in just to sing little parts here and there and do interludes, etc, etc. I think I already touched on that a little bit earlier in the review, but I just thought that was one of the standouts here. Dre really knows how to mesh people together and make it all sound good. He'll have 4 or 5 people on a song, even sometimes if a person is just doing one tiny little part, but it adds so much, and this is exactly why Dre is known as one of, if not the, greatest producer of all time. At least you can definitely argue that, because he really produces. He doesn't just make the beats. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can talk about there as far as the people who co-produce and have helped him over the years. But you know what I mean. He just makes the shit happen, and he knows how to craft solid music and great albums. So I have this one at a 4.5 out of 5. But that's just what I thought about it. Hit me up in the comments section to let me know what you think. And as usual, do all that good YouTube and social media stuff, where you like my videos, you share them, you follow me on Twitter, you retweet the videos, and you especially subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.